Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and after a couple of days of craziness for the last 2 days, gone a bit more sensible today, I promise. So, today's card, if you haven't seen it already and guessed by the thumb, is Golbez Crystal Collector, blue and black for a 1/4 human wizard. Whenever an artifact you control enters, you get to surveil one. And then at the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 more artifacts, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Then, if you control 8 or more artifacts, each opponent loses life equal to that card's power. Now, yeah, this is definitely different today. So, it's an interesting way of reanimating things. I haven't seen such good reanimation in blue and black for a long time. But here we go. Here's what today's deck really does look like. So, start at the beginning. We have one Planeswalker, Tezzeret, Master of the Bridges in. Creature in this Planeswalker spells you cast have affinities for artifacts. So, we are really in an artifact deck, so that helps a little bit. But then, +2, Master of the Bridge deals X damage to each opponent where X is the number of artifacts you control, and we gain X life. So that's quite nice. I mean, expensive Planeswalker at 6. -3 is okay. Return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. And then -8. Exile the top 10 cards of your library. Put all artifact cards from among them onto the battlefield. Yeah, it's a +2 in the affinity side of things. We're really interested in this deck. So they're in. Creatures. Now, we want to hit this magic 4 number of artifacts. And there's a few 0 ones. So we've got Mem Knight, Ornithopter, and Phyrexian Walker to help us off. That gets us there a little bit quicker. Make sure we've got 4 artifacts in play if we can hit them all out. Then Artificer's Assistant makes an appearance. Might as well have our historic spells scry us 1 to help us out a little bit more. The Greedy Freebooter gives us a treasure when it dies and we get a scry. Automated Artificer, we get to add colourless mana which we can spend on artifacts, so yeah, happy with that plan. The Chief Engineer is also in. It gives all our artifact spells convoke. We can tap some of our creatures down and help us get our other artifact spells out, so bit of affinity, maybe not. Ethereum Sculptor cuts the cost of our artifact spells down again. And then Renowned Weaponsmith. Bit of a weird one. We're not playing Heart Piercer, Bow, or Vial of Dragonfire, but it does tap for 2 mana and spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. So it does ramp us quite significantly with this deck. Academy Manufacturer, because we are making clues and food eventually and some treasures, which you can see. Foundry Inspector again cuts the cost of our artifact spells down, so he gets that magic 4 number and then maybe that 8 number even quicker. Master of Ethereum obviously pumps all our creatures up and gets bigger as we play artifacts, so we get them coming to play. And then one of the new cards, Matoya Archon Elder, 2 in a blue for a 1/4 creature, human warlock, legendary creature, and then whenever you scry or surveil, you get to draw a card. But you do the draw after you've scried or surveil. So the scry trigger happens, or the surveil trigger happens in the case of Golbez, and then we get to draw the card that we've either left on top or we just get a random draw if we chucked in the graveyard. Quite nice. Well, actually, very nice. Sai, Master Thopterus, pointless not having this in his deck when we're trying to go around Artifact Land. And then another one of the new cards, this is from the Commander set for Final Fantasy. The Warring Triad, 3 mana for a 5/5, Flying Trample, Haste. And as long as there are fewer than 8 cards in your graveyard, it isn't a creature. So it's basically mill a card and you get to add a mana until you get to over 8 cards in your graveyard. And then in which case, you get Flying Trample, Haste, God. Yeah, okay then. This is Scrounger. Just tap it to make a treasure token. Helps us out with our artifact count. Frogmite comes in because, hey, we're playing an artifact deck. You must have some of the affinity creatures in here. We've got a few. So Frogmite's the first one. Padim, the Consul of Invasion, also makes an appearance. Give all our artifacts hexproof. And then at the beginning of our upkeep, we've got the highest mana value artifact in play. We get to draw cards. So, yeah, that helps. Rook Turret also comes in one of the cards from Final Fantasy's main set. Whenever another artifact you control enters, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Nice little way of going through your deck, especially if you hit a land clump. Verdukan Archmage makes an appearance for the first time in a long time in any of my decks. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you get to draw a card. Obviously, we had some of the fun things in here. So Kappa Cannoneer is here to help us get in there and get those artifacts and make this big. With Ward 4, makes it really hard to deal with outside of Wrathside. Here comes some more of the interesting things though. Shimmer Dragon, we've chucked this in because we should have 4 more artifacts to give this hexproof. Then we can tap a couple of artifacts to draw a card, so it helps us with that side of things. Also a lovely thing to return with Golbez, along with a Kappa Cannoneer, obviously. Another one of the new cards, this one of the mythics from the new set, Ysoltu. I think I've just butchered that name, so sorry if you're a massive Final Fantasy fan, and I have made a mess of that name. 4 and double blue for a 3/5 cat druid. At the beginning of your end step, exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Then if it's the first end step of the turn, there is an additional end step this turn. Works really nicely with Golbez. Get double triggers. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's fine. Gearseeker Serpent obviously has affinity for artifacts, and then just can't be blocked. Another one we can return with Golbez. And then Jingatax's Progress Tyrant, 5 and double blue. We all know what this Praetor does. We cast artifact spells or instant sorcery to get to copy them. And then it copies the first one an opponent, it counters the first one an opponent casts each turn. So, yeah, that's not too sad. Mirror Enforcer, we had to have another affinity card in here. At 7, it's expensive for a 4/4, but when you're playing it for 1, maybe 0, it's not too bad at all. Sheldred, got the Phyrexian mana everywhere today. I'm going to get told off in the comments again by one of my moderators on the stream because I haven't sorted it all out, my bad. Sheldred, Whispering One, there you go. Beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from opponent from a graveyard to the battlefield, from your graveyard to the battlefield. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature. Okay, that's fine. A little bit of board control. Thought Monitor for the affinity side of things in the card draw. Cromlux is a big guy. Affinity for artifacts. You should be able to play this for 2 mana most of the time with this deck and get 5 fall down quite happily. And then Triplicate Titan, because we do want at least one really big creature that leaves us some nice bodies behind when it dies. And Broodstar. I love Broodstar. Played a lot of Broodstar when this was legal and standard. Still think it's great now. Don't see it very often, but I figured since we're playing affinity side of things a little bit, we'd have this in here today for some fun. Sorceries. We have some searching. So we've got Reshape to go and find some of the artifacts. Damnation to control the board, along with Reverse Engineer to draw 3 cards. Thoughtcast to draw 2 cards. And then Blood Money for some more board control and treasures that help us with Golbez. Instance, a few counter spells. On offer you can't refuse, counter spell and mana drain. The only game changer in the deck is Cyclonic Rift, just so we can bounce the board if we need to at some stage. Machine over Matter is even more fun. As long as we control an artifact creature, we get to pay 1 to bounce something that's annoying us. Whirl of Invention lets us go and search an artifact out that we need and put it onto the battlefield. And Blink Mothin Fusion. Probably a wasted slot, I'll be honest, but wouldn't you just like to be able to do this for 2 mana and untap all your artifacts? Just live the dream. Join me, live the dream. Speaking of artifacts, we have a lot. And a lot of them are rampy. So we've got Everflowing Chalice, the Moxers, Tantalite and Soul Talisman, Elixir of Immortality to shuffle everything back in when it goes pear-shaped, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Jet Medallion, Mind Stone, Sapphire Medallion, Talisman of Dominance, Thought Vessel. Then we've got Cloud Key to cut the cost of our artifacts down, because that's what we will choose with this deck. Nuka-Cola Vending Machine makes an appearance because, yeah, it will create us even more artifacts, which we like, and give us surveil triggers, and then return things that, you know what it does. Why am I talking to myself? The World Walker Helm makes an appearance as well. One or more artifact tokens, you get those tokens plus a map token as well, so that's quite nice. And then Crystal Skull, the Isu Spyglass, coming in from Assassin's Creed of all places. You may play historic lands and cast historic spells from the top of your library. Artifacts, legendaries and sagas are historic. So having this in play means we can actually chuck all of our artifacts in play that's sitting on top if we pay the mana for them. And for 4 mana, it does tap for 1 mana. So, you know, costs you, it's kind of like a 3 mana rock with an ability, if you want to look at it that way. Okay, maybe I'm pushing it a bit. Enchantments, very simple, just the 3 of them. Mirrored and Besieged to give us the mirror artifact creature tokens each turn. Efficient Construction to give us Thopters when we cast artifact spells. And then Revel in Riches for whenever our opponent's creatures die, we get treasures. Admittedly, there's an outside chance we'll have 10 treasures at the beginning of our upkeep 1 turn to win the game, but don't hold your breath. Lands. Blue and black and some random other lands are in all the way through. Nothing particularly fancy here. We have got Reliquary Tower, we have got Temple of the False God, we have got Borg, Tomb of Yagamoth here. But what I will point out is we have got all of the artifact lands in the colours. So Vault of Whispers is here. Sunken, nope, not Sunken Hollow. Where's it gone? Dun, 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 dun. He says he goes shows off all the lands been completed. Oh yeah, Inventors Fair. Miss Bridge Pool, there you go. That's the indestructible artifact lands. That counts. Don't forget, artifact lands count towards the Golbez. So you could, if there's any more I've missed out, let me know in the comments down below. We could add them in. See if the Synod, that's the other one I was looking for. There you go. So the 3 artifact lands I could think of are in here. But yeah, that's it. That is my take today on Golbez. Yeah, I quite like the idea of Golbez. I'm not sure it's going to be the most powerful deck I've done. I mean, it's come up as bracket 3, but I think it's because of the search engines and the one game changer in the deck. So bear that in mind when you put this together. If you think there's anything I've missed out, please let me know. Comments down below. I love to read the comments. I do try and respond to all of them when I get around to it. And I know I've been a bit slow recently, but been a bit hectic at work. So my lunch breaks have vanished. I haven't had a chance to check my lunch and comment then. But I will get back to doing it on a more regular basis very shortly, I promise. If it's the first time here, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button, help me out. The more the merrier here on the YouTube channel. And yeah, I will be streaming these because by the time we watch this, we'll have had at least one stream that involved Final Fantasy, and there will be another one coming up shortly in the week. But for now, thanks for watching, take care, and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with another more sensible deck from the 2 that start the week off. So see you soon, have a good one, bye.